Hello and welcome back to another Word VBA tutorial. So in today's video, we're going to see how to work with the active document inside of the Word application. So I already went through, and I think this is one they come default with, but this is like a default document that kind of gives you an introduction to Word and how to use it and stuff like that. So we're going to leverage this particular document to see how we can manipulate it using Word VBA. So definitely comes in useful if you want to start computing things like statistics, working with grammatical errors, and and things along that particular nature. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to your developer tab. You're going to go to Visual Basic. And then from here, it's structured a little bit differently, but you'll have normal and then project. Normal, you can kind of think of as like your personal macro workbook. With the project one, this is just a particular document that you're working with. You want to go down to modules, and then you just right click insert modules. You're good to go. And then from here, you can just start typing away. And so you can say working with documents. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to compute a couple different statistics about our particular Word document. And so these are things like how many lines are in the document, how many pages, words, paragraphs, spaces, things along that particular nature. So very straightforward. First thing is we will count the number of lines, and then we'll do debug.print, and then we'll do the number of lines are space that, and then plus sign, and then it's going to be the convert to string function because a integer will be sent back to us. And then what we want to do is we want to call the active document. We want to go into the compute statistics method, and then we pass through a statistics, and then it is equal to Word. Okay, I have to remember how to spell statistic. Statistic, that's why. And then there's all these different statistics that we can calculate. So the first one we'll do is the lines. And then just to kind of speed things up, I'm going to just copy this particular line and then paste it a couple times as well. 1, 2, 3, and I think there's 5 that I'm computing. 5. Oh, not that. And fifth one, and then we'll just say count certain items. The document that I release is going to be a little bit more detailed, but just for speed purposes. Pages, then we'll do words, and then we'll do paragraphs, and then we'll do what is it, characters. And then technically these ones will be a little bit different. So this one will be pages, Control J. This one will be words. This one will be paragraphs. This one will be characters. And then there's another characters one. And then that one, I believe, if I remember correctly, with spaces. So this one does not include spaces. This one includes spaces. And so when we do this, we'll get a nice little summary right down here. And so we'll see the number of lines, 118, 8 pages, 994 words, paragraphs at 68, 4,506 characters, and then including spaces, we have another about 900 that we can add to it. So very cool. I think this is one of the cool things about Word is you got this little like statistical summary for us if we ever need to leverage it. And there's actually one other one that we can do as well. With this one, though, a little bit different. And so this one, we're going to say the number of, grammatical errors are, and then it's active document. And then from here, we actually are going to get rid of that. And then there's something called grammatical errors. So that's a collection of all the errors in the document. And then we just call the count property. And so again, I'm just going to highlight all that, delete it, and then we can just run it. And so it does lag a little bit, but we can see the number of grammatical errors are 3. So that's computing all those wonderful statistics. Let's see how we can work with grammatical errors in the active document. So in this one, we're going to work with the errors in the document. And so what we'll do is we'll do for I equals 1 to the active document grammatical errors, and then we'll do count. The first thing we'll do is we'll close off our loop. We'll tab in. We'll do debug print, active document. We'll go into our grammatical errors collection. We will call the item method. We'll pass through the first one. We'll get the text. And then we can use this one. The next one that I'm about to show you, just gotta be a little bit careful about how you use it because not every type of error is the same. So for example, what you can do is you can say, hey, is this a spelling error? And if it is, then get the first spelling error and then just show me the text for that particular spelling error. Now, if it's not a spelling error, that will get you in trouble because this will return an error. However, if it's a grammatical error, okay, now we can kind of, see what happens. But all you would do is you would just change this to, instead of spelling errors, it would be grammatical errors. And that's it. And then from here, it would, it would return the text. So this one will fail, so I'm not going to add that. But what we can do, I didn't declare my variable. I'm a bad coder. There we go. Perfect. See? And now we get all of these grammatical errors that kind of just repeat for the most part. But the reason why it's repeating is because it is actually doing the first one again. What I'll do is I'll just change that to I. I don't know if it will change too much, but we'll see. Okay, so now you can see it's basically doing the same thing, but it's printing out each one of them for us, kind of just to show us what it looks like. And technically, this is kind of, not necessary. You don't have to include it because you're really doing the same thing up here, but it is kind of good to show that once you have that item, technically you can access other collections inside that particular item. So it is good to know. I'm not going to necessarily say you would want to use it like this, but it's good to know that if you need to access different properties about it, you can do that. And so, I encourage you to kind of understand and play around a little bit. Okay, let's change the font of the active document. And we'll go into the active document. And we'll go into the content property. And then we'll go into the font property. We'll call the name property. And then we will call Roboto. So I have the Roboto font stored on my particular document, so it's fine. It will still work. And then you can see that now each one of these has been turned to Roboto. So it changed the entire document to Roboto, which I like Roboto. I think it's a nice looking font. Some people would disagree with me. They would say, Alex, no, you're absolutely crazy. I would say, okay, well, to each their own. You can remove the bullets and numbers if you have them. I don't think I have any on this particular document, but I will just show you what it would look like. So it would be remove numbers method. And then you'll see that if there were any, they would delete them, but that's just kind of how you remove the numbers and stuff like that. You can check to see if your document has a password. So check if it has a password. And so we would go debug print active document, and then there is the has password method. Again, it's just going to return a Boolean. And then there is the has VB project. So basically, is there a macro in here and things along that? And then what we can also do is get the path. And so what we can do is we can do debug print active document, and then we go to the path property. And so I'm going to highlight all of this, delete it. And so it does not have a password. It does have a VB project because we're working out of it. And here is the path to this particular document if we wanted it. Okay. So now that we've done that, we can also do some other things with our document. So we can turn off grammar checking if we want. So turn off grammar checking. We would go into the options property. So I want to say this lives in the application object. Yeah, so this lives in the application object, and then we go to the options property, and then from here we can check grammar as you type, and you can say false, and so that will turn it off. We can also turn off the show grammatical errors, and so we can say, hey, I don't care if there are grammatical errors, just turn it off. I don't want to see it anymore. So this is how you control it at the document level. And then keep in mind, show spelling errors, things like that, you can turn that off as well. So a lot of different options you can kind of play with when it comes to what you want to show to the user and so on and so on. And then we can also change the background color of our particular document, but it has to be done in 2 steps. First thing that we have to make sure is that any changes to a background we make, it's actually going to be visible. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that we display changes to background. So what this would basically be doing is make sure to display background. And so this means we go into our active document, and then we go into the active window, and then we go into the view property, and then we go to this display backgrounds property, and we set that equal to true. And then we set the background color of a document. And so what we'll say is with active document dot background dot fill, we'll do the end with. I'm going to put some space up here so we can see it. Okay. And then what we can do is we'll say visible is equal to true. And then we'll do for color dart RGB. And then I already have a color in mind. This is just the color of Word, 87 and then 154. And then if I go back here, now I have this lovely blue document that is a little bit hard to read at some points, but you know, that's how you would change the document background color if you wanted to. You can also display certain things on your document, so you can display the rulers. And so this is again at the application level. You can go to the active window, and then we go to the active pane property, and then we go into the display rulers, and then we set that equal to true. We can display the document map, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. Again, this is going to be at the application level, at the active window, and then we want to call the document map property and set that equal to true. And then we'll also display the grid lines. And so this one, again, it's going to be at the application level. This will actually be under the options property, and then this will be display the grid lines, alignment guide. So there's lots of different things you can display if you want. So ideally what you would have to ask yourself is, A, what am I trying to display, and where does it live? That's always kind of the question. Does it live in the options? Does it live in the active window? Things along that nature will kind of help you understand where to navigate. And so if I run this, I'll go back here. This is my document map. This is my ruler. And now you can see that I have these ugly grid lines that are all over my document. So again, this is just showing you how it works. So this is turning it on, turning it off. If you wanted to turn it off, you would just be setting these properties equal to false. What we're also going to do is we're going to see how we can change the layout of our particular view. So maybe we want 2 pages across, and then maybe 2 pages down or something like that. So this is kind of what I call working with the zoom. So here I'll call it set the zoom. the Zune. With application, active window, active pane, dot view, dot zoom, and with. And then we can set certain properties about it. So the first one, as you see all this stuff here, we got page fit, page columns, page rows. I want page columns. So how many pages do I want to see across like a column? So I want 3 pages. And then how many pages in a particular row? So I want to see 2 pages on my screen. So basically top and bottom at the same time. And so if I do this, it's going to be condensed, but you can see it's now customizing it to show it the way that I want it to show it. So now it's 2 deep, 3 wide. And then if you ever just want to set it back to the normal setting, so where it looks basically like it was supposed to, set it back to 1 page width. And then it would be, again, application level. We go into the active window, into the active pane, and then we can do view, we can do zoom, and then we can do the page fit property, and then we get best fit, fit full page, fit none, fit text width. We'll just do full page width because that usually works pretty well. And so now it's back to kind of that original one that we had set. And with that being said, that does conclude our video. So if you have any questions about working with the active document inside of Word, please put them down in the comments below. I know Word is sometimes not heavily covered, but hopefully this is getting us a little bit more familiar with the objects inside of Word and how we can manipulate them and things along that nature. We'll obviously be doing more on this particular topic as time goes on. Also, if you could make sure to like the video, we appreciate the support, and so thank you very much for that. And then also, if you're not already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so that way you get regular updates as we release new videos. Today might be a little bit of an oddity because we are probably going to be releasing a couple videos at once. So thank you again for watching, everybody. We will see you in the next video.